Though cloud gaming is in its early years this go around, platforms like Stadia provide several compelling reasons why gamers should at least give it a serious look or even just try. See as 7 reasons to give Stadia a try right now. It's SDO Daily, baby. Let's get into this one. What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage, bringing you another SDO Daily. Can you do us a huge favor before we get into this one? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure to rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when we're dropping these doses. We appreciate all of y'all. Straight up, you know the deal, you know the reason, and by now y'all should know the slogan. What is it? We are not too proud to ask. All right, before we get into today's video, just give me a quick second to remind you all of something very important Stadia related. So let me show you something. All right, this is PNTS Network, our mother site here for all of our Stadia and game related content. And I'm here to remind you that the Winter Community Championships on Stadia has already kicked off. This is an event where people will play games on Stadia and earn cash prizes, and it's open to the public. All right, so go to pntsnetwork.com, look for this article, and sign up now for your opportunity to win one, if not multiple, of the many cash prizes that will be available. All right, so back to today's video. People have felt the need to tell you 7 reasons why you should or shouldn't pick up an Xbox, buy a PlayStation, etc. I felt it was time to throw my hat in the ring over a platform that I can do nothing but recommend, and that's Stadia. With no further ado, here are 7 reasons to give Stadia a try right now. Okay. Reason number 1, the consistency. Stadia is built on fantastic technology, and this is due to the methodical and slow way that it was built from the ground up. It's Linux based, which is said to cut drastically on latency you normally would experience with cloud gaming. And it also utilizes Vulkan-based APIs, which allow Stadia to take advantage of that new and innovative technology as it grows. There was just recently, based upon the time of this recording, a new Vulkan update where we had senior people from Stadia talk about it and say how important it was. So this is all fascinating and all fantastic to see the growth of this new and innovative platform. Stadia also gives you the same performance regardless of screen or peripheral you use. And they've worked very hard to do that. It wasn't like that at first, but they really have worked hard to get to a point to where no matter where you play, you have the opportunity to get all the nooks and crannies that Stadia has to offer. And that's huge because all of their peers can't say that. Stadia also doesn't go down. All right. I remember a hiccup where they put the wrong game out there early, so they closed it down for maybe an hour, but that was manually done. And also when Cyberpunk 2077 released, it was a huge game on the huge title on the platform. And it did render a lot of activity, and it kind of messed with the servers. I'm going to say the servers were kind of, went to a screeching halt for about an hour or something like that. It wasn't long. So this thing is consistent, and it just doesn't go down like you may see again with some of its peers. And I can always access my games. Now, every port may not always work to perfection. You may run into bugs here and there and some game-breaking bugs like you can with any platform. But I don't have to worry about games being yanked or games just not being available because it's its own unilateral platform. And once the game is on there, it's there. So that's another thing of comfortability that you get with Stadia. Next, reason number 2. The convenience. Booting up and playing Stadia from the moment that you pick the game to the moment that you get in the game is laser fast. And no, I don't have to deal with clunky UIs from other storefronts or whatever the case may be, or just a slow one in order to get into the games that I want to play. And on top of that, transferring my game, like if I'm in a man cave and I'm having a good time and then my wife comes home, if you guys follow my content, you know that's time to shut everything down, right? It's time to shut everything down and tend to her needs. But she doesn't mind if I'm playing a game while doing so. So I'll take the game from the man cave PC and I'll move it to my phone, or I'll move it to the TV downstairs while we, have our conversation. And it's just with a Thanos snap. It's so quick and it's so fast when it's done. Unbelievable. All right. Also, reason number 3, low barrier to entry. Look, Stadia is $0 to try. And all these platforms, the peers cannot say that in the cloud. Okay? Basically, right now, you can sign up for Stadia Pro, which if you sign up for Stadia Pro, again, you get access to all the nooks and crannies that Stadia has to offer. You can sign up for Stadia Pro and get a month free. And while you're trying that month, if you're like, this isn't something for me, you can cancel your subscription during the trial and never pay a dime. And you get access now to 50 games. You get all the amenities that come with Stadia Pro. It's crazy. And again, its peers in the cloud cannot necessarily say that. All right. Next, I don't need any expensive peripherals to get the best offerings. All the stuff I'm talking about that's so great with Stadia, again, it may have not been that way at launch, but now they've worked very hard to make sure that anybody, whether you have a $50 Chromebook or a $5,000 PC, the best offerings that Stadia has, everybody gets to enjoy. It's not, okay, well, you got a $50 Chromebook, so you can play, at 720p, but if you want to 4K capabilities or whatever, you got to get this dongle, you got to have this type of technique that's applied, all other stuff. No, again, regardless of what screen you're at, as long as it's capable, to do 4K, you can get every single amenity that Stadia has to offer, regardless of the device. To me, that is the apex of cloud gaming, because cloud gaming is supposed to be convenient and all the other stuff that I just talked about, but the low barrier to entry is key. All right. People don't feel like they're getting left out, like it's like that AT&T commercial. Someone's not getting the big sucker while someone else is getting the small sucker, but meanwhile we're all paying the same price, either to access Stadia Pro or to get the games, just because you got a certain device. All right. Also, Stadia puts the power of a free 99 console, as we like to say, in your hands. All right. You get all the plug and play action of a console, all the convenience there. But again, you don't have to pay $500 or even $300 to get access to these games. Some of these great games. Great games like Resident Evil 8, where you had a developer from the Initiative. Which is an Xbox studio, who was working on a new Xbox game. He couldn't get access to an Xbox Series X, but when, for instance, Resident Evil 8 for Capcom released on Stadia in 4K, he said, look, he went to Twitter, couldn't help himself. Look, I get the game in 4K, even though I can't get access to the latest consoles. I can still game on the latest games in 4K. This is fantastic. Thank you, Google. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said. And that's just the power of Stadia. Again, it opens up the possibilities for people who may be disenfranchised or may have trouble accessing things. It just makes gaming more accessible. And that's fantastic, without you having to pick lint out of your pockets to look for a nickel or a penny. All right, the next reason why that you should try Stadia is Stadia Pro. Yes, the aforementioned Stadia Pro. Look, Stadia Pro has quality games that are at no additional cost a month on top of the subscription. Okay. You keep these games as long as you claim them. That's even if you let the service lapse. Think of PlayStation Plus. Okay, 1 month I'm like, you know what? I don't see anything for Stadia Pro. I don't want to claim it, or I'm just not interested in it right now. If the following month you decide to pick up on Pro, the games that you let your service lapse, you may not have been able to claim, but all of the games prior that you've already claimed, they stay in your library. So I'm not paying X amount of dollars a month getting into a game and I only got X amount of time to enjoy it. All right, the game is mine. Freedom with your subscription is the best thing, one of the best things that Stadia Pro offers. All right. Also, access to 4K signal is important. Knowing that you can get that sharper image on any 4K capable screen, the way that Stadia Pro offers that, regardless of the hardware, is great, especially if you're a streamer like myself. Being capped out on 1080p or even 1440p, while it may have, it may look great in some ways, I want to be able to know that I can transmit my game with the 4K signal just to get that sharper image. So the people that are watching my streams, they're like, oh man, this looks good. That sharper image goes a long way when you're streaming games. So it's very important to me. It helps remove the ash that you may see sometimes in game streams and stuff like that. And it's great to see that, again, regardless of what screen you're at, regardless of what hardware you're using, as long as that hardware is 4K capable, you're going to get that 4K stream to your device, and that helps you if you're streaming a game to YouTube or whatever. You can send that 4K stream via what Stadia is offering. All right. The next reason why you gotta try Stadia is the games. All right. Now this may be controversial to some because there's that old moniker, well, Stadia ain't got no games, right? Let me tell you something about the games on Stadia. Number one, they're high quality. You can tell that these games have been looked at and curated before they came on the platform. They're all high quality. Even when we're talking about the Stadia Pro games, the average Metacritic of the Stadia Pro games is around 77 Metacritic, okay? Now, Metacritic may not be everything to everybody, but as far as acclaim and the praise, these are quality games, all right? The overwhelming majority work great on the platform, and regardless of where a port on Stadia at the moment falls as far as its performance, they always get better. There's tech notes they put out there about the pipelines and things like that, to where every time people are playing a Stadia game, they're helping to make it better due to the power of the cloud. All right. And again, maybe they don't have the most games, but they have the top games. What am I talking about? Well, the National Purchase Diary, also known as the NPD. Yes, that same NPD, where you have people like Phil Spencer and even Yoshida of PlayStation citing when their consoles or their games place high on NPD. When you compare the NPD to Stadia's peers in the cloud, Stadia has more games that rank high on the NPD than their peers at the time of this recording. You know what I'm saying? And it's a significant gap. So they may not have all the games, but for those of you that are looking to play some of the best games that are out there, you know what I mean? That are, as far as the retail basis is concerned, you can look at Stadia and be confident that in the cloud, you're getting some of the best games that are out there. All right. The next reason, all right, is the options. What do I mean by that? This one might be controversial too, because you hear a lot of times, Stadia's business model is horrific, and that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. Let me tell you about the model. You get to buy your games outright. You get Stadia Pro, and you get their subscription. You know what I'm saying? So again, I can either buy my game outright, like I can just go get Resident Evil Village for Stadia, and that's it. That's it. I don't pay for a Pro or anything. I just want to play Resident Evil on the go or play it anywhere in my house. So I just bought that game, and then that's it. I can then and I can get Stadia Pro and get to 50 games at the time of this recording that they are offering. Again, 50 quality games that have an average Metacritic of 77. Okay. Or on top of that, I can get external subscriptions like Ubisoft Plus. I can get access to the latest and greatest Ubisoft games as they release, and not just in their normal state, but in like their golden deluxe state with all the nooks and crannies. Yes, the Ubisoft Plus subscription offering is attached to Stadia. So let's just say if I don't necessarily want to buy any games a la carte, but I'm a big fan of Ubisoft games, I sign up for Ubisoft Plus and I can play those great games as they release on Stadia without having to spend $300, $400, $500 on a console or having to beef up my laptop in the tunes of thousands of dollars. My laptop or my PC rather, to the tunes of thousands of dollars. Fantastic. All right. But last, but certainly not least, why you guys gotta get into Stadia is the community. Look, let me just break it down to you like this. Stadia is ultra popular with cloud gamers. The community outreach efforts are like no other. What I'm talking about with the social media managers, and that's formerly Grace of Google. Shout out to Grace and her new endeavors, to Chris from Google, to Shaka and Gracie. All right, those guys have done and are continuing to do a fantastic job engaging with the community and holding events. I got to participate in a Google sponsored event where we were playing Rainbow Six Siege. Had so much fun, you know what I mean? And there's more of that coming. Also, there are great community events by gamers themselves. Great events that get people together for special moments. They spring up everywhere from within the community. If it's anything from the Stadia 100 inspired or hashtag Stadia 100 gaming inspired events like the Winter Championships, like I just showed you earlier in the video, to the hashtag Team Stadia awesome giveaways on Stadia inspired merch and such. The community at large is always active on showcasing its enthusiasm for the platform. It also makes looking for group attempts a breeze being connected to the active Stadia community. All right. In this community, I mean, within all those 7 different things that I've highlighted, the community is really what cemented me with this platform. It's a great community, and it's a one that I think all gamers should embark upon and get an experience with to show you how great a gaming community can be. All right. And those, my friends, are my 7 reasons why to partake and try Stadia. There's many more, but I don't want to go on for decades and decades. So with that said, that's it from your boy. Tell me what you think about this. Why? Because like I always say, who cares what I think? But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. Those links will lead you to the Broadband Bullies, PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and yes, the Stadia Dosage. With all that said, I appreciate and love all of y'all. Thank y'all so much for the support. Have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.